This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring former FBI Special Agent and Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
We've learned more about the documentary that is being filmed for the Peacock Network that is going to be following around Asa Ellerup. That is the wife of the man who is accused of being the Long Island serial killer, the Gilgo Beach murder. Rex Heuermann is who I am talking about. Joining me to discuss this, and we've been talking about it for a few weeks, but some details have finally come out. We got some comments from Peacock, as well as some others who are in the part of developing this piece. Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent. This is interesting. I think one of the things that struck out to me immediately, because it just seems like such an absurd thing to say, is the documentary for Asa Ellerup, who's making about $1 million on this. They're trying to shade around how she's making it or not making it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's being made by 50 Cent and G-Unit Productions. You'll find him in the club, and now you'll find him following around Asa Ellerup. It's a production company. I'm not that super surprised, but at the same point, it just seems like a crazy statement to make out loud.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I'm still getting the whole her being followed and selling her story and having to follow around, because, when it comes to Asa, her new line of work, unfortunately, is being the wife of or ex-wife, if this goes that way, divorced wife of at least an accused serial killer and maybe eventually convicted serial killer. That's her new line of work. Yeah. Like it or not, this is exactly her role in life right now. And so, we're just talking about the Happy Face Killer and his daughter. That was her life role then, was to be the daughter of a serial killer. So like it or not, life sometimes thrusts things upon you, and you can either do something with it, make it a mouthpiece for good, or not. And let's see what Asa does with it. So that part didn't surprise me on this one. I was kind of hopeful. I actually like the conditions.
Yeah.
They said that the money cannot be used for Rex's defense and things like that. So I like that. But yeah, who's producing it? That was interesting.
I was a little bit surprised, but yeah, I mean, the conditions were laid out in here that Asa, number one, they say has no creative control over the document, which I think that is certainly one of the most important things in this. Yep. It's not going to be steered by her and I think sometimes when people are really trying to hide things, we've seen many docs where I think the individual that's being filmed thinks they're going to control this and they're going to control the narrative. Little do they know, by the time the thing is done, you just dug yourself into a pit to hell. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I like that part. But yes, you said the other part, the money cannot go to Heuermann's defense. I don't know how they actually control that technically, but that's what they're saying. And Peacock also not wanting to be in the area of saying, hey, we're paying a serial killer's wife to do a movie. They're saying, no, it's a licensing fee, which it is. I mean, yeah, I get it. That's how they're going to make that look well. But obviously, the optics are horrible. John Ray, who represents the family of Shannon Gilbert, one of the victims, saying reckless beyond belief in terms of participating in something like this. Is she making lemon out of lemonade? Is she, if you can't beat them, join them, if you will. With, like you said, her identity is now being the wife of a serial killer, possibly a convicted serial killer.
It's a rock and a hard place, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the role that she's now in. It would have been great for her not to do this deal now because of the impact it has on the victims' families, because that is always the paramount concern in all these challenging situations dealing with, is the impact on the victims. And yeah, this is going to impact the victims again and again. And at the same time, you can't control timing. The thing I did like about this, though, and you'd mentioned it, is she doesn't have any creative control over this. That's really bodes very well for her innocence and her lack of involvement. And if they do a good job, and if her story as being duped by him is compelling and transparent and obvious, then I think it'll bode well for her in the long run. But we'll see. But as for the victims' families, it's just going to be more pain, I think.
Oh, without a doubt. And there's two other victims here that I think we overlook quite a bit, and that's the kids. Asa's two children. One has, it seems, some mental disabilities going on. The other certainly being drugged through, or not drugged as in let's take a drug, but drugged through the mud in all of this insanity. The attorney for Asa says that she's been vilified and also victimized of the family. And this is of Asa. She's going to be known as the wife or the ex-wife of an alleged serial killer. She's gathering herself. She's dealing with herself. She's getting her and her children back to a safe place. They've got through the first holiday without a wreck, and that's where they're at. Getting the children to a safe place, I don't think that's a super accurate statement. If you're going through something like this and just the hell that they're being bombarded with every single day, is it the healthiest for your children, especially one that has some special needs? And he's an adult, but regardless, is that a responsible parenting move of, hey, let's bring the camera crew in while daddy's being accused of murdering sex workers over the last 20 some years? Bring the cameras in? Wouldn't it be more, that doesn't seem to be like healing to me, but I guess to each their own.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they going to be on the kids as well or just her? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm with you. No, that's not a healthy behavior for kids. This whole thing isn't healthy for kids to go through to begin with.
No.
And with a family crew, with a film crew following you as well. And then if the producers are asking her questions of the kids during this, that would just be tremendously unhealthy for them to deal with.
I think it's going to be a train wreck. I think we probably are all going to watch it. But if this is something that will lead to maybe some more discovery and some more information in this case, to maybe find some more victims that are out there or convict more people who may have been involved, then I guess let it be. They'll probably get more out of Asa in this than, obviously the police haven't even questioned her yet. So
no doubt. And you said it perfectly a few minutes ago with it's a wreck just waiting to happen, and it will happen. This is, to use an analogy, this is like being told that, hey, we got a NASCAR race going to happen tomorrow. We guarantee, we know there's going to be a 50-car pileup in turn 4 at 2:00 in the afternoon. Tune in. You're going to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. And so this is just going to be, it's going to make a lot of money for people. And so, and that's where it just gets you. People are going to be profiting off of a serial killer at the expense of the victims' families.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the sick
and we're
part.
all going to watch it.
That is the sick part of it. So I hope what they stated there, it's not going to his defense. If that's true, okay.
Yeah.
I guess have at it and good luck, Asa.
Yeah, because if she's, she was manipulated. As we saw in the Murdoch trial, and we saw with Murdoch, the way he's able to justify his actions and use the emotions and empathy of others to manipulate people. Well, that's what Heuermann does too. This is what psychopaths do. Yeah. They're able to take that skill set of pure predator and prey upon people. And if the documentary shows that Asa and her children were subjected to that, there will be sympathy there. So it'll remain to see what happens.
All right, one more. We'll talk about Delphi.
Oh gosh, jeez,
it's like a cornucopia of crazy.
Yeah, just a cornucopia of crazy. We don't have to move on to new cases because these ones keep fueling us.
I know.
Jeez.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.